Welcome, everybody. You're listening to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fahim Anwar, and I've done things.
I'm Paula Viganalan.
I'm Zara Ali.
And I'm Fizza Dasani.
And Fahim has done things.
I have done things.
He's done shit.
That's usually my intro when I get brought up with stand-up. They go, this next guy's done things. Please welcome.
Sometimes it's done stuff.
Yeah. I like things. It's more formal.
Yeah.
Stuff is like what the kids say.
You are wearing flannel.
I am wearing a flannel.
That you
Professional.
pulled
The
off a hanger.
lumberjack
Pull off
of
a hanger.
comedians is
Yeah.
what we all call him.
You know, I'm from Seattle.
Starting
so.
now?
Yeah. You are a comedian, an actor, and a writer, and you're in Goatface comedy.
Yeah.
Wait, well, you created Goatface. You're one of the creators of it,
Yeah, I guess
right?
so. Yeah. Me and Aristotle used to do videos, and then we brought on Hassan and
Asif.
Yeah, and then we started doing videos together.
So how did this boy band of comedy come together?
Lou Pearlman brought us together. After the success of O-Town, he found us. He was like, let me see what we could do with brown guys.
You know, I saw O-Town live.
Whoa.
Fort Myers, Florida.
You know, I love that show. Like,
Yeah.
and then I would always roll my sleeves up because, like, Trevor, and this is how crazy life is in entertainment as well. Just me and my brother would have this ongoing joke that, like, Trevor never had sleeves. You know, he always just had like a tank top, or it was always shoulders, you know? And then later on in life, like, he comes to the Comedy Store and, like, he's a fan of mine. And, like, I've talked to Trevor, but it's such a mindfuck. You never think that when you're in some suburbia, just hanging out at your parents' house in the summertime, that you're going to meet Trevor from O-Town.
What's weird is, like, you're kind of like that for me, because I used to, like, rewatch the That's Racist music video.
Oh, wow, okay.
Like, way
I'm your Trevor?
You're my Trevor.
I'm your
Before
Trevor
I
from
started
O-Town?
comedy, my ex-boyfriend and I would, like, watch that. We, like, looked into Goatface and stuff before I even started stand-up. And I was like, this guy can dance.
Wow.
You can
Yeah,
dance too.
guess
That's
so.
not on the sheet.
Yeah, it's
I
not on the
definitely
sheet.
saw.
That we
I
were
definitely
fawning
saw. I saw your YouTube come through on our G chats like early on
Oh, okay.
through my group of friends. They're like, "Do you know this guy?" I'm like, I haven't met him yet, but yeah. So like, you're definitely known in the
guess
like
so, the
brown
brown
community, like from coast to
Maybe
coast.
because I'm like a black sheep.
In the brown community.
No, you know what it is? Because I think, we're all
black
brown
sheep
here. We're all brown
Doesn't
here.
stand out as much in a brown community.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah. But there kind of is this line that you're supposed to toe as a brown person. And anything left of center of that is kind of interesting. And maybe that's why it gets shared a lot. Like, you cannot do the thing that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it's a beacon for kind of like brown people.
So when you were right of center, you used to be an aerospace engineer.
Yeah. It was always a means to an end, though. It wasn't like the romanticized version for everyone, because I think a lot of brown people are just working some jobs they don't want. Just everybody in general. Like the Hollywood version is like, I'm in a cubicle and then I snap one day and I'm like, I was born to dance, or I need to make people laugh, and fuck you, boss. I'm going to chase my dreams. But it wasn't that. Like, I was doing stand-up when I was 18. I was doing comedy before I even went to mechanical engineering school. So it was just a very methodical way to get to where I wanted to be. Every comic has a day job anyways, so instead of waiting tables, I was just in a cubicle.
That's what I'm an engineer as well, and we got compared. I think at the Comedy Store, like somebody introduced us, and that's what I do, because I'm like, I'd rather do my PhD during the day than like wait a job.
It's the same shit. Hours are hours.
Yeah.
Like, one's Applebee's and one is just in a felt cubicle.
And it's got good healthcare. So
Yeah, and
good health insurance.
Felt?
You know the walls of like a cubicle. And it's not that bad of a gig if like things don't pan out or whatever. You know
But
what I
you're
mean?
still like using your brain, right? So like if you were in corporate America, you still had to like utilize your brain and deal with a lot of people, and then do math or whatever as an engineer.
Right.
I don't know what aerospace engineers do.
like
Like
build
do
shit.
stuff.
Did it take a lot of bandwidth? Was it hard to show up and be
Not
present for?
really. So the thing is when you work at a large corporation like Boeing, it's easy to be a cog in the machine, and you probably knew more in college than you do like when you're actually working on like in the field.
Yeah.
Because you have to know everything in college. The scope is so wide, and then once you get a job somewhere, you're like the fastener guy, or you're the washer guy.
You're so focused.
Yeah, because they have engine group, they have
Which guy were
wing
you?
group. I was floor beams. So the whole group dedicated to floor beams. Not glamorous, but
the foundation of the plane.
Yes.
If you're in a place where there's gravity.
Yeah, what are you going to float to your
Very
seats? No,
important.
you got to walk.
Wait, so
You're
do you
welcome,
know?
That's where I come in.
Do you know what went wrong with this Boeing plane?
The 737
The
Max.
737 Max?
Yeah.
Was it
I
your
don't-
fault?
No,
Was
no,
it your
I didn't work on that. I just came on this podcast to set the record straight. I didn't work on the Max. I worked on the 747-8 freighter and passenger. Okay, so that was the model before the Max. It wasn't me.
This is way too specific to be a lie.
These
So there
are
we go.
these are some of the things you've done.
Yeah, I worked on the 747-8 freighter and passenger. Freighters for like UPS, FedEx, passengers, people.
So that's like a big credit as an aerospace
That's
engineer.
also a stage credit. I guess he's been on Conan, Seth Meyers. He worked on the 747-8 freighter and passenger. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably flown him. His name is on the blueprints. Please welcome. Yeah.
That's great. So you studied mechanical engineering for undergrad. You got your job at Boeing, and then at what point did you quit?
I think I was like 3.5 years working at Boeing, and then I was able to quit.
How were you able to
It's
sustain?
different for everybody. What do you mean? Like sustain living?
Mental health?
Like sustain living.
it's a
Well,
lot of
I mean,
things.
That's-
It
yeah.
is.
I mean, just like economically from LA, like you're living in LA, you go from like a fairly cushy day job with health insurance and all of that, and then you transition into comedy full time. And there's no union or healthcare with comedy unless you have
Right.
SAG.
Were,
you know?
were you living in
So-
LA? Because
I was in Long Beach.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
but-
SAG and I don't have insurance.
Yeah.
You got to hit that minimum.
You got to hit the.
I know.
But
But I
you have
had
to hit
like
the 17,000.
but like it's every how many
Yeah, like,
It's like-
I
it's like-
forget.
Oh, I could.
yeah.
Oh, I'm fucked.
I'll talk
You
to
might
you.
be
I'll
there,
talk to you
yeah.
after.
And if not, Obamacare, so it's not
Yeah.
bad. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So what was that like? Did you have struggle years? Were you on the struggle bus for a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's not smooth sailing, I think I quit because I had to. I had enough. I always wanted to get to the point. There's this dream scenario, and it's different for everybody, where it becomes obvious that the day job is holding you back, and not in like mentally and just like I can't follow my dreams because I'm this mental capacity. I'm talking about like financial and just real opportunities, tangible opportunities. Logistics. Like you would be turning down a job because you have a job.
Yeah.
That's so funny. My brother and I were talking about this because in school, it's really hard to keep up with like getting my research done and stuff. And so he's like, I want you to sit down and write out your threshold for when you would quit either. He was
It's
like,
great. No, it's good to know that. Like what that tipping point is.
Yeah.
What was that for you?
For me, it was when I was I would get to a point where I like the job was holding me back legitimately from opportunities in the entertainment. So I had a few things. It was, the NBC Stand Up for Diversity thing that they do every year. So I got far in that. I think I got like second in that. So then there were a bunch of college gigs lined up. So that's some dates, know, and that's some income. So it's some dates and some income. But that wasn't the only reason I would quit. Like I had just booked this Chuck guest star,
Yeah.
and so I had a little bit of money
That's
there.
what I saw you in.
Oh, long ass time ago.
Yeah, I was a big Chuck fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I mean, I love Zach Levi.
Yeah,
just
he's in
great.
Shazam now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have his number. I don't know if he still has the same.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I never
tried-
use it. That's the thing about Hollywood. Like sometimes you'll get some number, but you would never call this person again.
You're like, you just get to look at it in your phone.
Yeah,
and be
unless they
like,
want to write you
I
off.
have Emilio Estevez's number for my working job. Yeah, I should call him, ask him how Charlie's
Quack.
doing.
I mean, technically we have.
Every year she just texts him quack, and he just has no idea who's sending him this.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, quack.
Send it from a different Google number
Yeah.
every time.
No, he's a very nice guy. He responds. He responds
wow.
with quack quack. He gives me a little more than I give. It's
In no
very,
time, y'all are
what a
playing
nice
Duck,
guy.
Duck, Goose.
Unlike
Very
his brother
kind.
Charlie.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. I was actually on a call with Emilio, and they started talking about personal stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this was like I think. I can't air it out, but like this was before Charlie, really
Before Tiger Blood became a
fell
thing.
off the ledge. Yeah, it was before Tiger
Before
Blood.
Tiger Blood. Got
So
it.
wait, in what context did you in this conversation with? How do you know
Can a
Emilio?
bitch have a conversation with Emilio?
No, I need
You need-
context.
Oh my
Details.
god!
So I worked in film finance and packaging several years ago, and we were putting together a movie that he was EPing,
Yeah.
executive producing, and we were just trying to find the money. And
Is that one of those things where like, all right, I'm going to patch you on to so and so, and then the people don't know that the people are still on the line?
yeah.
Yeah. There's a
So
million of that.
I heard a lot.
Oh, I have this idea.
Yeah.
Like, who knows the juiciest dirt in Hollywood? Sound guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. For sure.
Like, I would love for them to come out with a tell-all book.
Yeah.
Like, they got the dirt on everybody. Everyone forgets their mic pack is on,
Yeah.
Like, they know De Niro stuff. They know everything. Who's fucking who on the movie set? You know?
Yeah, they're in the bathroom.
Yeah, no one knows to turn their mic pack off.
I always turn mine off. I can't.
They got no dirt on you.
I mean, look. Apple has all the dirt. Google has all the dirt.
You know, people are so naive to think like, oh, they're not listening in on us. But like, I swear, I was having a conversation the other day. I forgot what about, and then the ad pops up on Instagram. Like, if that's happening, of course.
That happened to us too. We were talking about
me
red
all the
boots.
time.
That happens all the time.
Red boots popped up. On a guy's phone who was in the room. He wasn't even talking about it. He was just there.
Yeah.
It was his girlfriend.
You think the government's stopping at red boots and that's it?
No, that's just
that's the tip of the iceberg.
It's a big iceberg.
That's why I came on, guys. Snowed.
Who's in charge of the 737?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to your threshold. I'm trying to keep us.
Oh yeah, and then I got the big
she
thing.
likes structure.
Yeah, it's good.
I need it.
I like yelling.
There was MTV's
I'm very
Disaster Day.
loose.
Disaster Day.
So they needed me for 3 months to shoot that.
Like what? I missed
Disaster
it.
Day?
Disaster Day. Yeah, so they needed me for 3 months.
What is
and
that?
It was this MTV show. It was
dating show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when like you
was
got
like a dating
money.
prank show. Yeah,
That's like you got money if you were able to like withstand this asshole
Right.
who's like
Why
on
the fuck
purpose.
is no one paying me for being on Tinder?
Because
There's no
that's
cameras,
just
that's
life
why,
now,
yeah.
man. That's just life.
That's just a tweet.
Disaster
for a
Date
terrible
is just dating now.
Yeah,
Like that is
Disaster
all
Date
it is.
Disaster
That's
Date
all it is.
No, you get a free dinner. That's about it. That's you don't get any money. You just get food. Not even free dinner.
Still not worth
I have a
it.
question.
Whoa.
So for Disaster
These
Date,
guys.
Disaster Date on MTV, they would pay the girl, whoever was being pranked, they would pay them $1 for every minute
Correct.
that they were on
Lasted
that
on the day,
you know,
yeah.
before they just like freaked
Was
out.
Mateen on that also?
Yeah, Mateen was
Mateen was on that. Kayvon was on. Like there was a bunch of
Yeah.
comedians on that.
Yeah,
back in
Jeff
the day,
Keith was
right?
on it. Yeah.
Like a
I
decade?
have a question though. Those of you who are like playing these pranks or whatever, the guys on these dates, were you getting paid more than the contestants that were actually on it?
Of course.
Please tell me
Yeah.
because.
Yeah, we were cast members. Come on.
Well, okay, sure, but
What's
you
the
know.
worst thing you did on the date?
On the date?
Yeah.
They
Or
would
in
get
general.
pretty crazy. I don't what did I do? Yeah, there are different characters each time. One of them's like a foreign one. One of them was like I'm like a hip hop beatboxer guy. It was like a trust fund kid. One of them I'm just like some rich guy and all my credit cards don't work.
So did you like write the character? Like, or did
Nah, they had
tell you?
writers, so they
Okay.
would kind of tell you what the character is, and then and they would tell you what the person didn't like on dates, so you knew to hit those beats. But how you got to them and the improv in between was all you.
Yeah,
That's fun.
there's a lot of funny ones. I enjoyed that show, and I'm like, look at this crazy girl. I could probably win all that money, and I've now been in those situations in real life, and I just get up and leave.
Yeah.
I've definitely done the whole.
People
like,
don't realize
bitching
you can just
before.
leave.
Yeah,
You don't have to stay there.
The whole generation was trained by MTV to just sit there.
Yeah, sit there for $60 max.
I don't know how to date, so I'm just listening and learning.
Yeah, that's not the show to learn.
That's
It's a terrible
No.
show to learn.
no.
What's the best dating show to like actually learn how to date?
None, because it's
There
a
aren't
show
any.
and it's not real.
There aren't any.
But if there-
What if it was
there's
The Bachelor?
close ones?
Just find a jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi.
Yeah, take a karate class together.
Yeah. Make sure there's 9 girls lined up that night, one date after another, which is basically what's happening today in real life anyway.
There's one thing that really, excels dating is competition, where you could see them, like a line of other girls. It really ups your game.
Brings out the best in you.
Yeah, to
Truly.
see how clutch you are.
Do you watch it?
What, Bachelor?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't watch
No,
any of that
I
stuff.
don't watch any
But
of it.
literally everybody at my day job watches it.
Everybody
So
does.
many
Like, everybody,
people
Yeah,
everybody
just
watch. I mean, I don't know. I think they just watch it for like.
I think
They
just to
eat,
have a
like-
common thing to talk about at the water cooler is just sort of a
Maybe.
shorthand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Everyone's
a
on a-
cult
it's a
following.
bonding thing.
Like
Yeah.
a first name basis. They're all like Jessica. It's like,
Yeah.
who's Jessica. Is
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, there's like teams. They're like, I'm on team Brian. I'm like, I'm not
It's
on
like
team
low
any,
IQ
any
Game of Thrones, just very digestible. You're not going to lose track of characters.
You can just, you don't
Yeah,
have to watch.
You could
the
feel
previous
better. You could feel
But-
better than everybody.
They all do get murdered at the end.
is
People
true.
don't know that, but that's true. They all get murdered at the end.
See, I always stop. Like,
It's a spoiler.
No, they all go on Dancing with the Stars at the end,
which is the death of their career. So,
So, would you ever consider Dancing with the Stars or Bachelor?
or the
Well,
one where they're
here's the
wearing
thing.
the masks and they're singing the masked
like,
singer.
let me have my ascent first. Like, is it over already?
No,
I
but
mean, you
like,
got
as
your
a-
Comedy Central special.
as a stepping
guess.
stone, right? Like, why not? I mean, it
That's
also
never been a stepping stone.
Yeah. This is supposed to be
That's
the
like
second
on
wind.
the way down.
I need my first win before the second
okay.
win.
What's your first wind? What do you want?
You don't feel like you have your first wind yet? I mean, like, I thought Goatface did really well on Comedy Central.
Yeah, but it was a one-off, and I would love it for it to be a series, and we're still waiting to see if it will. So I think this
Everybody
month we'll find out.
Watch it so brown people can be happy.
Yeah, come on, we've got nothing.
I showed that to my dad, and the part that he laughed the hardest at was the part where you guys beat the kids.
Wait, which
like
one?
the hand slapping
really?
one.
Hilarious.
And then he was like, "It's funny because they also have a thing to kick them with."
Oh my God. Dad! Of course.
Does he want to be a writer on the 7-minute packet? Like all the sketches are just beating children. We're like, well, okay.
My dad gets a credit before I do.
He's in the guild.
So that wasn't the first wind. It was like a breeze.
Yeah, there was a breeze. I feel like everything I've done is just like light breezes.
So like we were talking earlier, like we were looking at this little sheet with all of your credits and
Seth Meyers,
and you were like, well,
Whiskey Tango
this sounds great, but you don't we all sort of feel like we're not doing enough. Can we talk about mental health?
Why is nobody happy with where they are?
We need to check.
Oh, it'll never end.
Because if I have to stop and think about where I am, I have to think about myself and who I am.
But you also have to understand everything's a process, and and you're looking at your life from this point in time right now. Everything takes some time, and some people just don't have the patience and just know it's a journey.
There's always another run.
Do you ever just look behind you? Do you ever look behind you and like see how far you've come?
And I am very fulfilled. Like after Goatface came out, I was very fulfilled because I've done everything that I've really wanted to do. Everything else is icing. The only thing that I want more out of life is just a little more stability. Like financial stability. Like I walked here, I'm like in a studio in K-Town. I walked to the studio, you know?
You get a lot of bang
from one
for your
studio
buck
to
in
another.
K-Town.
Yeah, but I would like something a little more consistent, maybe just a little more of a financial foundation.
Yeah.
Because right now it's kind of sporadic. But like if Goatface was a series and I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now, but it's just such a process. Artistically, I've been very fulfilled, and it's cool to like get these things every now and then, like the Conan and the Seth Meyers and all that.
Yeah.
But you understand, like they're little blips. They're fun little notches on your belt, but it's not like I've made it.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like after a year, it's just like something that happened.
It's something that happened, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I know, like maybe like you guys would love a late night credit, and like I know that it's a cool thing, but know that some of these milestones you have in your head, they're great to do and they're great to get, but they're one of many things of a process.
Well, I've experienced like that sort of. I think when I booked one of my first TV things, I was not happy, and it was sort of a very good time in my life career-wise, but like I was not like fulfilled.
Okay, and to speak to this, something happened today on Twitter, or I saw it on Twitter, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
So there's that like Glastonbury it's this music festival, this huge music festival in Scotland, I think.
Oh yeah.
I could be butchering everything.
No, I know what you're talking about.
So they released the lineup, right? Yeah. And you know how they have like font
comedians?
sizes?
Yeah.
No, they're all like artists.
Okay.
So they're all like, you like how I just
comedians.
are the comedians? No, they're artists.
No, they're
like we're just
they're
clowns.
real artists.
We're technical people.
No, because they're starting to put comics on like Coachella, like all these
Outside
festivals.
Lands.
No, I think this is purely music, but it's pretty huge. And so they came out with the poster of it, and it's like the Killers and I don't know. There's all these like names, right? And there's, you know how we have egos and shit.
Yeah.
So do musicians about like their font size and where they are on the. That has just always been funny to me. And so Janet Jackson is on the bill, and she's like the top line, but she's over to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
And so she tweeted it her own, and she I guess her team photoshopped it, or she had them photoshop it, where her name they moved it over to the left, so it's the first name.
I'm not mad at it.
No, but that made me
hilarious.
so
That's
happy, and it was so funny that like. Just because, and you'll see this as you climb the ranks throughout Hollywood, just because someone is doing well doesn't mean their thirst is gone and that they don't have open mic or energy anymore. Like they'll have that forever. Some people, just because they're famous doesn't mean that they're not crushing skulls to get like an inch higher.
Open mic desperation.
Wait, open mic or energy never goes away? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. For some people, what? Over time, maybe you can even out and learn to be like a rounded human. And I think, sure. But some people that fuels them, and like I feel bad for Janet, where if
well, she can't really fully enjoy.
If Janet Jackson's doing that,
if you don't get to the point where you are fulfilled from the art itself, you'll never be happy, no matter how high you get.
Yeah, because there'll always be another level, another external.
You could always look on someone else's plate
Yeah.
No matter how high you get. True. And just the fact that Janet Jackson photoshopped her name, you're Janet Jackson, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like at that level, she's still doing it.
Is if you're not happy where you are right now, you'll never be happy. You just have to sort of be happy with where you are right now in the moment.
Who does Janet have to prove herself to?
I mean, Killers, I guess.
Like everybody else on that. Who did she bump? That's who she has.
Everyone wants to be relevant. Everyone's fighting for relevance.
I guess,
I don't know. I'm not Janet Jackson, so I can't relate.
These slights that you see are not. They're only that to you because you're living it. Yeah. And they're not a real manifestation of how the world views you.
So people noticed that she shifted the font.
Yeah. It was like a big Twitter thing.
Okay. So it wasn't like there was no plausible deniability.
Funny.
Maybe there is, but like official... that was kind of the talk about Twitter when I woke up this morning, and I thought it was funny. And some people were like, "I'm not mad at it. Like she deserves." But to me, I'm like, "That's hilarious." Like, yes, queen.
Guilty.
I'm not mad at it, but like
King.
I'm not mad at it, but it's funny.
I mean, Janet, do what you need to do. You know,
well, it's all ego because it's just like it comes from a place where she needs.
I deserve to be in the left column.
I mean,
because you read from left to so that makes sense.
Yeah,
got it.
If it was the Arabic lineup, it'd be you'd want the right.
Totally.
You'd want to be on the right side.
Isn't she married to an Arab guy? Though? You think? Wait, did they get divorced,
or is she still with him?
Isn't she married to like a sheikh or a sultan or something?
I thought she got she or somebody else broke up after 5 years, which was when the prenup expired or something. It was right at that time, and he was super rich.
Later.
Yeah, and she had that baby.
I need to
5-year plan.
Are there any single sheikhs around? I'll be a third wife.
Yeah, let me look in my phone next to Emilio.
Contact Emilio.
Yeah, do that. Emilio might know a sheikh or two.
What if in your phone is just like Abdul and then parentheses sheikh next to it?
I'm going to do a little
live
search for sheikhs. We used to deal with some Middle Eastern financiers. I don't know. I might have someone for you.
I love when people get so rich, they're just like, yeah, okay, I want to try a movie. It's just something for them to do.
Yeah,
that's what
let me burn some
for a
money.
lot of people right now, right? Like,
well, stand-up is kind of a thing of like, oh, I've been Me Too'd pretty hard. Let me try to do this.
Jeremy Piven.
Oh shit!
But yeah, that's what we would look for. Just rich dudes with lots of money that would be do something glamorous with it.
That would be. That's like every girl.
So instead of investing in movies, invest in Zara.
Please, I'm all for it. Why? I don't know.
No, if you make the right connections, you meet a rich person.
I'm trying.
And they just kind of they'll burn all this money just because they want to rub elbows with Emilio Estevez over a shrimp cocktail.
Oh my goodness.
It's a story for them. They just want access, so they're willing to give up so much money, and that's how so much of Hollywood works.
Because at that point, they've had money for so long. Like, what are they going to do? They don't have that ambition.
That's why people do racehorses. It's just...
They're just trying to find another thing to fuck with. This is the entire... this is all of the UAE. It's like, oh yeah, well, we don't know what to do with our money. We'll just build a fake island. We'll just build a man-made island. We'll put a ski resort inside. What else can we do? Sitting on the clouds.
Are they making more money with all their money? That's just...
I don't know. I honestly, it's a lot of tourism.
Are they losing some money? Because how do they fill all of that?
I'm not sure. I think Abu Dhabi bought 10 floors in the Burj Khalifa or whatever.
How do you fill that
just to give them money? It's so much money. They're all just passing it around and doing stupid shit with it.
Have you guys been to Dubai?
Yeah, I go there a lot because I have family there.
You been?
I've never been.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh, they'd love you over there.
Would they?
You could perform there.
Yeah, you're a dude.
You haven't been hit up to perform there?
No.
What?
I performed in Saudi.
Really? How's that?
It was on a tour bus. So it was
on the tour bus to Mecca, right? It was still not
very safe, yeah.
It was a tour bus to Mecca or leaving Mecca?
Leaving Mecca, so at the very end of the trip.
Can you do whatever for those shows, or do they
No, I think you need to be a little...
What was your material?
I just did the foreign language stuff, not being not bad English stuff. But
sorry, he doesn't know your bits as much.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. I'm going to do the bit, but I did something that was that was safer. But then I got to a point where I started talking about my upbringing in the South, specifically Florida, and they, crack came up and
they're not about it.
No, crack came up.
I've done a few of those shows where it's a corporate or charity gig for religious Muslims or
those are the worst.
I call them the halal crowd.
We did an event and they were tight, but I just came back from Mecca, so I got to spill some tea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But do you just say no to them now?
I've always said no to them for
Really?
the most part. Yeah, just because I know I'm not what they want.
Yeah.
And they think that I might be what they want, but I know better.
That's
Yeah.
how I feel a lot.
Because they don't see enough comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and,
empowering.
And if I tried to be that thing, it wouldn't it would suck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, I'm learning that now. I just
It's hard because it's opportunities you're turning down.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, they're not fantastic opportunities. The
Yeah.
ceiling's pretty low for that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I just realized this after like doing this gig in New York. It was, people that like I grew up with, and then like a bunch of people who are similar to the people I grew up with, and they were judging me, right? Like it's the moment I stepped on stage, and I was like, you didn't accept me to begin with. I don't know why I was thinking you would accept anything I have to say now.
Comedy's hard enough with no handcuffs.
Yeah.
So why do a show with cuffs on?
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
Unless the money's insane or something.
well, that's the thing. It's
Sometimes
only a financial incentive. Otherwise, what's the point?
But
Because
sometimes-
in terms of
Sure, but sometimes the money's
There's a
really
ceiling.
not great. Like it's like,
then,
hey,
yeah,
it's
then there's
$50
no point,
bucks,
right?
or like.
But sometimes I look at it as like a challenge. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to like, have a clean set for this thing. Or one time I did like musical comedy. I was like, let's see what the fuck I can do
it's doing
here.
push-ups
It's
with
just,
weights
like,
on.
Yeah.
All right, sure. If you're doing it as an exercise,
Yeah.
but also be wary that if you're like doing all these like weddings and shit, you're
You're
kind
into
of
a wedding comic.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like the jobs you take carve your career.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are so early in your career, it doesn't really matter. But if I did a bunch of CSI getting like karate kicked and shit out of window like panes,
You're a stuntman now.
sure. Or I'm just like
Stuntman
I'm the
comic.
Allah Akbar guy before getting his ass kicked to the white savior,
So, what were some of the things that you turned down because you felt like it would water down your
It's not
career
even really
or
like
not?
turned down. It's just sort of like making
Or
sure your
avoided.
team knows what you're trying to do and what you're not trying to do.
What are you not trying to do?
I'm not trying to be like a terrorist and some stuff and some like homeland.
So you're gonna be a person.
Oh yeah, and we do comedy.
Yeah.
We do stand-up comedy. So how does that really help us if we're trying to like build our brand as a comedian?
Yeah.
They like
How
see
does
you
how
walk
does
on
me building a
stage.
bomb and evading the hero and getting into a helicopter?
So you won't even go in for those auditions.
No, like I don't
I
want
mean,
to do that.
that's a very strategic move on your part, right? Because like when you're earlier on in your career, sometimes people are just chasing the credits, and it's like, okay, well, this is a movie credit, but they don't necessarily know that it could define them for a long time.
I think like Hollywood is very intoxicating, especially you just want to be a part of anything. So early on, your scope is very narrow, and you can only see, I don't know, the ends of your feet. But a career is a long time, so it's good to have a macro view and be like, where do I really want to be?
Yeah.
What have you said yes to that you wish you hadn't?
I mean, I talked about it on my podcast the other day. Like, but I got bait and switch. I did this, and it's really nothing in the grand scheme of things. I'm like backup dancing in this Netflix. Remember Laughing in the 60s? And like, yeah. So they're doing a reboot for that. It's like this hour thing. There's some celebrities and stuff in it. And then they made it sound like there's going to be some top level celebrities, and there are. But then there's also like my peers, like Nikki Glaser and like Ron Funches and shit. And I'm like backup dancing in the same scenes as them. I'm like, and then I didn't want to sour the relationship because I agreed to do it. So I just kind of like was told something that it wasn't.
Oh,
and I just
yeah.
had to like suck it up for a day or two.
So
and
you
that
felt
was
sort of-
annoying.
Felt sort of like you're booked as an extra where
Yes.
your
When it
peers
wasn't
were
it wasn't framed that way. Like they
Yeah.
kind of lied to me. So that's not really my fault. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's not your bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
on them.
that's on them. And it was like a day or two, so whatever. But still,
But
it's just kind of annoying.
it's also backup dancing, which kind of goes along with
With what I do.
with the silly stuff that you do.
I guess so.
He front
But I want to know I'm backup dancing.
What if you
I don't want to be forced to backup dance.
What if you just become the go-to backup dancer comic
In
for
every video?
like
That was kind
every
of my dream.
A-list mo-
Honestly,
right?
like for the longest time, I had like two goals. Like one of them, like I wanted to be in a Step Up movie.
I've always
me
wanted to
too.
be
Like
in a
I would
Step Up
tell
movie.
my agent stuff. I'm like, yo, get me in a Step Up, and I think they thought I was joking, and I'm like, no, I'm for real. Like, get me in a Step Up movie.
Did they
I
stop doing
danced
those?
too, and I've always wanted to be like in one of those movies or in a Bollywood movie. I'm like, I want to.
I don't think they'll ever stop doing those.
No,
movies.
they haven't. No, they
there's
haven't
an
done one in a
opportunity.
while. They haven't. I'm like waiting
There's
for the
gonna
next
be
one.
a new one though. There's like
Yeah.
Save the Last Dance had its thing. Center
give me the
stage.
next
There's gonna
one.
be like a new evolution to like hip hop dude and
Yeah, but-
ballerina come
Maybe
together.
maybe they'll step down, and then
But have
my
we
time to
aged
shine.
out? Have we like?
maybe
I don't know.
I'm
like
like
really
you're the
sad.
teacher.
I'll
and,
bust
and
my
then you're
back.
like, I used to bust a move.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, teach. hit it.
Yeah, right. Teach.
Hit
You
it.
think it's gonna be like a dance battle against like the teachers and the students,
Or
something?
maybe, you know, it's like even and then like the teacher comes in at the last second, you know, because it's off campus. And he's like, think I'd miss this party? And like, what? Teachers in the warehouse?
Or it's like an Aunt Viv thing where they're like, they don't expect it, and then she fucking kills it.
Yeah.
That was an inspirational
I'm always a fan of
episode.
like I said, I'd never dance again. You know?
and then
at the
Usher,
end of the movie, it's like the kids need him, and so he dusts off the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just wrote it. We just wrote this.
did.
Let's greenlight it. Pull up the Saudi.
Who do we need to call?
Pull up the Saudi guy next to
what
Emilio
would,
Estevez.
what would be the song though? What would be the song that you would come like? What is your like? Everybody dance now on Viv's.
Oh, it's probably a deep cut. You guys wouldn't
deep
even
cut.
know it. Yeah, something funky for sure.
I know. I love deep cuts.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know these deep cuts.
Well, you don't. I don't know.
He's too like his
Judgy.
deep
Yeah,
cuts
too
are too
out there.
elevated.
I think
Yeah,
you might
yeah.
need to send me a Spotify
maybe a classics
playlist.
track, maybe Oliver, maybe maybe a breakbot. I gave you
Spotify
3
playlist.
artists. Yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, and another goal I wanted.
Deep cut.
Yeah, deep cuts.
Okay.
And
Very
then I
deep
wanted to
cuts.
be like dancing in like a music video, like somebody's music
Yes,
video.
that's
And
what I
so
want
the Das
so
Races
bad.
thing was cool. I got to do, and then I wanted to be like a backup dancer on tour. Like someone
artist?
huge.
Wait,
I
whose
don't
tour?
know.
Beyonce?
Anybody, like even if like Christina Aguilera or some shit. Like,
But that shit is like, I don't know
BSB.
how much you've danced since you were a kid.
I mean, just for fun. Like
Yeah.
I never went to class or anything.
That's what like. I took classes and I was like, but even then, like I go and take class at Millennium sometimes, and it's like you're in the same classes as like, so you think you can?
Oh,
dance
they're
to
legit.
Charity.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you think you're like, I've danced my whole life.
No.
Like what? No, I don't think that. But like you think that you can like keep up to a certain level with them, and they're just
No.
like so far beyond.
I
They
can barely
learn
keep
steps.
up. I danced for like 9 years, and then I came out here to LA, and I could barely keep up in Zumba. Like this is.
I mean, but I danced. I danced since I was like 3, though.
I used to be for the love of the game.
Unless
Yeah.
you're professional, you're not.
I did tap in first grade.
You should bring the tap dancing.
Yeah.
back.
Wait, do
Yeah.
you guys have tap shoes? I have tap
Incorporated into
shoes.
my
You know what
set.
happens? Like sometimes artists, have you seen these pop artists where like, they'll have some weird hidden talent and then they'll try to like incorporate it into what they do, but it's so old timey and old fashioned and it's so forced. Like I was working out at 24 Hour Fitness and sometimes I'll see music videos just for shit that I never see. Like as you get older, you kind of you get abreast of like these music videos just in weird places. Like I see music videos that I haven't seen forever at bowling alleys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch.
Remember Big Wangs?
Vaguely.
Oh yeah, that shit had the best music.
And
They
had
then,
great
Buffalo Wild Wings will sometimes play old
Places
videos.
that sell wings.
Yeah,
right.
basically.
And there's like this pop, like every couple of years there's a new Britney like archetype, like
Yeah.
like top 40s, like maybe this is the girl.
Yeah.
Let's use her. And so she's dancing around and she has this violin and I'm like, this is hilarious. She's not giving up on the violin. She's trying to make that sexy.
Well, because that's like a real skill,
It is,
Like,
but not in this context.
wants
Not
to
when you're
show-
wearing these clothes and like
she wants to show she has depth. Okay,
that's
the
not
only
depth.
thing. She
you can't wear those clothes.
If you want to show you have depth, use a bass
Hey,
or
I
a viola, not
I
a
should
violin.
be able to wear whatever I want.
Instrument,
Okay,
yeah.
why are you
guess
a man
so.
telling me I can't do something
These
because
are-
what I'm wearing?
It's just historically very mixed messages.
No, it's not what you're wearing. It's just violins are slutty, and we don't appreciate that.
Those curves, those sensuous.
It's funny to try to like
pretty
seduce.
whorish.
You're trying to like pop seduce the youngins with
Yeah,
a violin.
With a violin.
Yeah.
No, we're just showing the youngins that hey, you can be a hoe too. Okay,
Yeah,
and
you could
if
be,
you play
a
the
classical hoe.
hoeing is not
A
above
hoe with
you.
a skill set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw someone a stand up Erin Lampert do like she tap danced as she did her set and it was like so funny. It was amazing. She was able to incorporate it. And then I was like, fuck. And then it got me thinking and I was like, don't fall into this path. Cuz she
No,
can
but
do what
it's
she
the
can do.
perfect marriage. Yeah. If you find that thing, it's great, I'm all for different things, but never where it's like shoehorned and it doesn't work. But if it
Yeah.
works, it works.
So you like musical comedy?
What, for me or just in
Or
general?
in general. In general.
The people who are good at it.
I liked Sandler's
Yeah.
last special. I thought it was
It
great.
was-
yeah,
it was one of my
Sandler.
favorite
Good.
specials.
Sandler
And
was great.
People
So
have
good.
this like stigma, like, I think it's just, it's very hipster to be like, Sandler sucks.
No,
But I think if you look at it objectively, it was one of the best specials in a long time.
I loved it.
he was great.
I watched it like 3 times in a row. So it was amazing.
So speaking of like special things people do on stage, you have this alter ego.
Yes.
How did you come up with Lance? Lance Constopoulos?
Yeah, Lance can't stop.
Because he can't stop.
Yes. Well, you're the only one who put pieces of that together. But yeah, he can't stop dancing.
Just because I was typing it earlier and I'm like, oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little Easter egg. It was an accident. Like Willie Hunter was doing some variety show at the Comedy Store, and then he wanted me to dance on it, to be like a musical guest and just dance. And I'm like, that's weird if I'm just dancing as me.
Yeah.
And then I had this, I had the character just visually. So I just danced. I didn't talk or anything. I just danced to the song as him. And then I'm hanging around the Comedy Store. This is the dark ages of the Comedy Store. Like no one's really going there, you know. And then
can you give us a year time frame?
2010, 2011, or like, yeah.
Did you have more creative freedom then because it wasn't as hip
you
and
could
like
do
you could do whatever you
This
wanted?
is the only reason Lance exists. So I was dressed that way. You could do some out there shit.
Yeah.
And then open mic was still going on in the original room, and I'm floating around. And then I think Brenton Biddlecombe, he's like, "Hey man, do you want to go up in the OR? There's like 5 or 6 people." It's like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm still dressed like this.
Yeah.
Was this potluck? Was it a Monday night?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like a Sunday or Monday, because there was 2 nights back then that you could go.
Oh, okay.
And I go up, and then I'm like, I can't like talk like this. It makes no sense because I have a mullet and I have a wife beater and like acid wash jeans. So then I'm like, I just got to do an accent, you know? So I'm like, what's up, everybody? Like, how are you doing? And there's like these like MILFs in the front row. I'm like, hey, what's up, ladies? Like, tiny champagne, huh? Cool. Like, how's the champagne here? And just like, and it just like, it did so well. It was a different type of laugh than when I do my regular comedy. Yeah. Just because as we do jokes, there's like these mental gates you go through. Like, that's clever. But Lance is just like, half people are like, is this a real guy? Some people are in on the joke. There's so many layers to it, and it's not jokes. It's just a guy.
He's just a funny
He's
character.
just a guy, and I just go there to be. Like, as long as you're the character, it's funny, and you don't have to have jokes really. As long as you're true to him, it's funny.
Does Lance come out anymore?
It's been a long time. It's been probably a year. Yeah, he hasn't been, but he might come around.
Okay, that's not too long ago. Where was it?
Comedy Store. He would go. He used to go up every Saturday.
Does he only ever come out at the Comedy Store?
That was kind of his main spot.
He's not welcome anywhere.
No, he can go anywhere, but that's his home.
Somebody was asking if you got. They were like, "Does Lance get paid differently or put in different spots based on?"
Yeah, 2 times Lance got checks from the Comedy Store.
Damn.
Is Lance on the wall?
No, we tried to get him on the wall, but it wasn't going to happen.
How long after you started that character did you do the music video?
I think the music video might have happened before or after. I don't know. I forget the timeline of it all. Yeah.
Are you planning to tour with Lance? Like, what if
he's the backup dancer? What if Lance is the backup dancer for like Lizzo now or some shit?
What if Lance opens for you and then you have a feature and then you're
I can't follow Lance. He would have to close.
You'd open for Lance?
I would open for Lance for sure. Yeah.
How long would Lance's set be?
Maybe like 10 minutes. That's all he needs. Like 10, like 20.
Yeah, and how long would you do before?
Maybe 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
you know what'd be great? I would love to do a weekend like somewhere like on the road.
Yeah.
And it's me for the weekend, and then the following weekend it's Lance.
Or if you do like a college show.
You know what? I
think like we're always on the heels of each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, Lance is following me everywhere.
Lance would do great in the college circuit right now. Have you ever taken Lance to NACA?
No, I think he'd be too real for them.
Does Lance
with
have
all the PC stuff?
as many credits as you?
He has some pretty good credits, though. The Das Racist music video.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
He did JFL. He did JFL.
He did JFL? Oh, you did the characters.
For our listeners, Just for Laughs is this, like, the most prestigious comedy festival. It's in Toronto, right?
In
Montreal.
Lance
Sorry.
got it.
So,
And Lance got it.
Lance got it.
Did you submit as Lance?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Lance got paid to do some stuff out there. The music video and... I think that's it. Yeah, I guess 2 things he has.
Is that your main other character? Do you have any others that you've come up with?
That's like the most fleshed out and like one that's like a home run. Other one, like I've done Dirty Seinfeld at the store a long time ago. like I dressed up like him, and they had it because it's potluck and you can do some crazy shit. Where he goes, "Oh guys, we have this crazy pop and I can't believe he's here," and really build it up. And the crowd's like, "Oh, I wonder who this is." And they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dirty Seinfeld." And then the Seinfeld music plays, and I'm like, "Thank you." And I go, "Who likes to eat pussy?" This guy knows what I'm talking about. And there's like all the jokes are just like raw as fuck.
did anyone ever show that to Seinfeld? Did anyone ever tell him?
Is there like, footage? I was doing this chick in the butt the other day. And he goes, I like squirters, but not like this.
I want to see him do comedians in cars with that character.
Can you do that? Can we please have this happen?
If you ever get in comedians in cars, you have to promise to do Dirty
I don't know
Seinfeld in the
about
car
that.
with him.
I can't do that to his face.
Oh my God, he would be game for it.
But what's funny is like it would be hysterical for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then you know the game. Like it's a bit much. I think Dirty Seinfeld for like 3 minutes was like so funny.
Potluck.
Yeah. That, and then I'm trying to think if I've done anything else. But sometimes it's funny to have an idea and just you can do some weird stuff, especially potluck. The store's just a playground.
Yeah, and
people used to experiment a lot more back in the day just because there were no stakes. But now everyone wants to get past, and there's packed crowds, so it's harder to take risks.
Did you work as a door guy?
No.
Okay, so I know a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a way in though. You know, a lot of guys used to be door guys, and that's a path.
So how did you get in? Who passed you?
Tommy.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the Tommy days.
Tommy days.
The Tommy days. Tommy was after Mitzi.
Yeah, I was in this in between where he'd be like, because Mitzi was just sick, you know, and he'd be like, you know, Mitzi looked at your tape, and like I know it's a lie. Like I don't think she was really looking at my tape, but Tommy would do this thing where he's relaying the message from, but I know it's just him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had like a lot of success in all of these credits and everything, and you did Goatface and had that special, but your parents still want you to go back to engineering?
I mean, I think my dad's the last holdout. Everyone else is pretty cool. Yeah, my dad just understands money and things.
Yeah.
So until I have those, I think he'll be like
once you have that stability.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. It's inevitable.
You're on your path.
It's happening.
Do you have siblings?
I don't know if Lance is on his path. Lance is
he might break before me. I don't know. That's why I had to hold him back for a year.
Yeah, you're taking the scenic route. Lance is about to pop.
He's ready to go.
Maybe he'll let you open for him.
So when did your mom come around?
When I took her to the premiere for Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Right? I saw that. I'm like, all right. That's
you
what
had
I need
to
to
give up your date in order to prove to your mom.
Yeah. But I knew I was always going to take my mom.
Yeah,
There's no
that's got to
question.
be a rite of passage.
Yeah.
For
Take the mom to the-
take your mom to the red carpet.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, what better way to just sort of like have her turn too than...
Was she fangirling out when she saw
of course.
anyone?
Yeah.
Was she... So you got to work with Tina Fey?
Yeah.
And that what is it like working with her?
It's cool. I mean, it's just a few scenes, you know.
Right.
She's nice, and like Margot Robbie too. So it's not like, you know, we were embedded and we were like, I mean, I would see them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys shoot together?
What do you mean? Yeah, we had some scenes.
Scenes together.
Yeah. Like me and Tina had a scene, and then me and Margot Robbie had a scene. What's funny is I was at Swingers the other day. You know, we'll eat there after like shows. It's like a diner, it's open. Mm-hmm. And then Margot Robbie comes in, and someone like her crew too. And like I spent some time, like I know her, but like it's that Hollywood thing where
it's like you don't know.
It's not
if you
worth
should.
the risk. Like, hey Margot, and she's just blanking. Like, it's me, Jaweed, from the movie we did. Like, oh yeah, all right, well enjoy your meal.
So you didn't say anything.
No, it's not worth it. The risk reward is not in my favor. So I just let her.
But you don't think she would have? She would have remembered and
what's
said
the
hello.
upside?
But then
like, what do I gain out of that?
She'd have to go through the files and see the process.
The crash and burn.
Yeah.
The potential crash and burn.
And then she might not find it.
Is not worth the slight anecdote.
Yeah.
Margot.
Okay, if Tina Fey walked into Swingers, would you say hello?
Same shit. No.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Did you?
What if they're upset? They're like, I can't believe Fahim forgot me.
I'm not. No. First of all, they wouldn't know my name.
Well, you don't know that. The guy from
No, I know
O-Town,
that.
you're like, he's a fan of
'Cause
yours.
He's seen my stand-up.
So
You know what's kind of cool about doing
Okay.
stand-up, being at the store, and is some cool people get to be your fans or whatever. Like, or you don't know who's in the crowd sometimes. You know.
who's your coolest fan? I mean, besides us.
There's a couple. I mean, like, because there's music. These bands I like classics. These guys that I really like. They're a production duo. They make music out here in LA, and like they're fans. And then Portugal the Man has been coming around to the Comedy Store, so like they're friends now.
Yeah.
One of the guys from Adam something from what is it? Magic Mike. He's from one of the Magic Mike dudes, I think.
Adam from Magic. Which one was Adam?
I forget.
look this up.
But Trevor from O-Town is a fan.
Trevor. I mean, if he walked into Swingers, I probably wouldn't say anything either.
Yeah, you just see like his sleeves rolled up.
This was about like
You could spot those shoulders out of a lineup.
So you never had sleeves. Now I'm just that.
Don't you remember O-Town? Like, he always had them rolled up.
One
and
guy
he was the
always
guy.
had the sleeves.
It's funny how that's the angle. Luke Perlman's like, you're the guy. No sleeves.
You're the cute one.
This
You're
guy.
the bad boy. You're the one with no sleeves.
Yeah.
This guy.
Adam.
You're
from
the
Magic Mike.
you're
This
the one
guy?
who. Yeah.
This hot Adam Rodriguez.
Shout out to Adam Rodriguez. What's up, man?
Yo, come on the podcast.
We don't talk a lot, but we said what's up on the patio one time.
I mean, yeah, I remember that guy. He's
So
great.
if he walked into Swingers, you'd say something.
He'd say what's up.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. So
Michael Shanahan.
Michael
Or Shannon.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon was definitely
Michael
that.
Shannon?
I don't know if he's a huge Fahim fan, but he said what's up after a set, and that was really cool because I love his work.
Sometimes I'll see comics at the store that are just like giants, and then like they'll walk past me and I'll be like, good set. Like they're just like, we're both just normal comics. And it just like, it feels so empowering. But then I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you get starstruck? Because I've never sort of had that feeling of being starstruck by anyone, and it bothers me.
2 times. One time, it was Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
walked by me, and you don't know till you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, Stevie
I'm pretty
Wonder?
chill.
But
was that the Comedy Store?
No,
or
Swingers.
just like
Why does everything happen to me at Swingers?
Swingers is where everybody
Like, he
goes.
was walking by me at Swingers.
I'm going to go burn some bridges at Swingers, I think.
And then when I was backup dancing for the Netflix thing, Michael Douglas walked by.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
I was in an elevator with Marky Mark.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg.
Stop it.
When I had that,
I would be
that
starstruck.
horrible job. Yeah, but I was way taller than him, and he was with his wife and his kids, and I gave his kid a high five.
Nice.
And he was very pink,
Interesting.
and
Must
it
have got
was
done with the
inexplicable.
workout.
So I let it go. But I did post something on Craigslist.
Misconnection?
Yeah.
You, pink.
Yeah.
Me.
With the family, me, chill girl with all the high fives.
Yeah, never heard from him. Maybe he's in my phone.
Maybe.
Next to
In the DMs in the other folder.
no, in like my old
His
address
account
book.
is just Marky Mark.
Yeah.
That other folder is tricky. I like missed out on gigs because I
really?
don't check the other folder.
Do people not know about the other folder?
A lot of people don't.
It took me a while to figure out. the other thing.
Some of them are useful, especially on Facebook. Most of them are just brown men, just
Yeah.
asking for your bio
shooting their
data.
shot.
Do
Just trying.
you get brown men in your other folder in your DMs? Who's
get a lot
sliding
of-
in your DMs?
A lot of people, yeah, people do
Yeah.
that.
Who's sliding in your DMs?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do most people reach out to? Just to tell you like they love your work, or are they trying to?
Some people like the music. Some people
Yeah.
like the music. Some people like a story that I did or whatever, like an Instagram story. Some people is comedy advice. I seem to be a beacon for like brown people who are working tech jobs and trying to break out as well.
What's some comedy advice?
hold on. One of them's funny. Like this one kid hit me up,
Yeah.
and I took my time and I wrote back and
So you're like nice. You respond to.
I try to.
That is so. You have time to do this?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just nice.
I guess so. So, I mean, I don't hit all of them, but if I have time, I'm like, so I write this thing, but sometimes people want so much, it's crazy. Then he writes back. He goes like, I know you said you were doing comedy on the weekends, but like what about during midterms? Like from what time to what time? I'm like, this is so specific. I didn't even bother. Like, I'm like, all right, I gave you more than enough. I'm not going to fucking get down to the minutia of what I did during midterms.
So you ghosted.
Like, yeah, I ghosted.
And he probably understood. I think he was
Hopefully,
just seeing.
I guess.
He'll understand in like
that's the
5
thing,
years.
Try to
too.
interact until someone stops.
I guess it's kind of novel when you reach out to someone and they respond to you.
Yeah.
And some people are wise enough to know, like, oh, cool, they responded. That's nice. But some people will
Try
keep
to
on going.
maintain.
Because I remember
you
one
have to
time.
set the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time Robin Williams, he was doing improv a little bit around town, and I was at UCB, and he was hanging on the sidewalk talking to these improvisers and stuff. And so I'm in this circle, and he's talking and stuff, and everyone's asking him questions and things like that. And then after maybe 10 minutes or so, He's like, well, all right, see you later, guys. And I realized, he has to end every conversation in his life.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to be like, no one's ever going to be like, all right, take it easy, Robin Williams.
That would be so stressful for me. That would be so stressful.
I watched part of Brody Stevens' memorial that was periscoped from the Comedy Store. And there was one part where somebody was like, every conversation, the fans had to walk away from Brody. Brody just kept going. And I was like, that's so beautiful. Like, so perfect for him.
Yeah, I remember like the few conversations I had with Brody, I had to like leave every time, and I felt bad leaving. Like, I want to stay, but it's 3 a.m. and it's late. I'm tired.
Damn.
Oh man. Should we break into our segments?
I think so. Okay. Can we ask our guests a couple questions, and the first question, and since you are a brown man in America, we would like to ask you how you build the stereotype and how you break the stereotype.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How I build it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How I build the brown stereotype?
Yeah.
For example, being an engineer.
Okay. Yeah. Being studious and all that, doing what you're supposed to.
Were you studious growing up?
Yeah, I had to get A's. I had to get A's and B's.
Yeah.
B's.
C's to get like, drop kicked. Yeah, I mean B's. Pretty relaxed parents, huh?
Wow.
B's were
My parents were hippies.
Were they on spring break the whole time?
Yeah. My parents.
Your parents are hippies. They're naming your like siblings like Rose and stuff. It's the opposite.
It's funny. Like, my parents were hippies. They let us get B's.
I'm shook.
My parents were drug addicts. We got A minuses. It was crazy.
Yeah, they took a lot of Motrin back in the day. So I guess that schooling and like that. More? I'm trying to think.
Well, like even now, as a grown up,
was there like an instance this week where you're like, "Fuck, I played into that stereotype." Like if I had a car and got into a car accident,
I could give you generalities. I don't know about specifics, but like value. Like it's very hard for me to be frivolous with money. Mm. Like I still drive a 2007 Mazda 3 that I bought in 2008, and I got a deal on it because it was stick shift, and it was 2007, but it was on the lot, so it wasn't driven.
Got it.
So I'm value driven.
You're a value shopper.
I'm a value guy.
Got it. Do you have a Costco membership?
I don't. The thing is, I'm one person.
Yeah, it's hard.
What am I going to do?
True.
I'm not going to.
That is true. Yeah.
Do you have,
you don't have the storage. You live in Cape Town.
Yeah,
do you have a bunch of plastic bags that you've saved?
No, I'm not that far.
I am.
Like I see all this toilet paper. I'm like, I want it, but where am I going to put it? Like I know I'm going to use it eventually, but I have nowhere to put it, so I have to.
Costco's are for families.
Yeah.
All right.
Fine.
Or like roommates that
she
are
has her family plan,
in sync.
so.
Yeah, okay, if you're just
I use my parents' Costco membership.
Mm-hmm.
See, my parents were Sam's Club, so
Sam's Club.
That place is
I'm a
trash.
have-not. I'm a have-not.
That's a
Don't rub it in my
Sam's
face.
is trash. Okay, whatever.
Hey, Sam's families are fine families too.
Whatever.
They're all right. They're in the Walmart
we
family.
know
right?
that Costco is a premier place to
pretty
get
top
your
level.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
Wow, very bougie of you.
Whatever. I'm standing my ground on this one. All right.
Okay, so that's how you built it. How did you break it? Other than being a comedian, how have you stepped outside
I guess
of it?
never really caring about what people think of me. Because I think so many people, and it's not just a brown thing, but I think it is a primarily brown thing.
Yeah.
Like, what will families think, and the name, and all this burden that you have to carry as a brown person, that you have to sacrifice the individual for the family. And we're just doing comedy, It's not like, but that's the same thing as heroin to some people and shit.
Yeah.
So was there any? Was it hard to go off and do your own thing in terms of stand-up, leaving engineering?
Not me. It was just like
it was more for your parents.
Yeah, it was annoying because like I would get it from them. It would manifest itself from them, kind of like bugging me about it.
But you were able to allow them to have those feelings and not let it affect you.
I mean, it was just conversations I had to keep on having and sort of push back, and have to like every couple months and just be like, understand, I'm not a crazy person, and obviously, I'm not going to keep on doing this. If I'm a homeless person, I'm eating out of a garbage can. Like, understand, I want the best for my life as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like I feel like sometimes, they want your happiness. They just don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. It's rooted in love, but I think they just have no frame of reference and they just lack trust.
Yeah, I think it's a lack of trust.
I think they also just panic. because it's not a lifestyle they've seen before. So
Yes.
they don't have like,
There is no stand-up comedy in
There's
Afghanistan.
no blueprint. So.
There isn't?
Yeah.
It seems like a very
I'm trying to go
jovial
back.
place.
I'm trying to build it up. And
Have you actually been to Afghanistan?
I haven't.
So I was just talking to an Uber driver who grew up there, and he was saying, like, okay, this reminds me of Handmaid's
building
Tale.
the stereotype.
Yeah. But yeah, building the stereotype. But like, life was good in the 70s
I know.
and
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, yeah.
It was just like, I
people
wore
think it was
tank tops.
backwards all the time, but
Yeah.
no, when my parents were there, it was,
Oh, it was a
it was
big
great.
tourist destination.
Your parents were hippies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your
They
parents
were raised hippies.
Did they
Got it.
leave?
They left before
they
the
did.
Russians came in.
Because I was just going to ask sort of what that experience is like. It must be so traumatizing to just be living your life, having a great life, and then suddenly,
Yeah.
people are
Well, they
getting
got
killed
in.
and-
They got in before it got like bad.
Yeah.
So, but they could kind of see where the tide's turning, and then got out in time and stuff.
Yeah, that sort of that always fascinates me. Just that switch. Like, how do you go from like completely like losing your life?
Do you have family back there still?
No.
or
Yeah.
They all got out.
Everyone got
Your
out.
life- yeah.
Do you have
They got
family
me out because
here?
they knew I was so funny that I just that there was no place for me there.
Do you have this is kind of related to something that I'm going through. Do you have like extended family here in the States?
Like cousins and stuff.
Yeah, cousins and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? Do you ever feel like there's like a rumor mill and stuff? You feel like they're like following?
about me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I mean,
just don't
probably
care?
a good one now, but maybe like this is what I've always thought about doing stand-up comedy, especially in the early years. Just know that everyone thinks you have a screw loose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I always thought about, not that I wanted to get married like in my 20s or anything, but I just know that, like, say if I wanted to, and my parents are trying to like find someone for me, let's say, if I wanted that, to like, hey, reach out to some families, find a good girl. If I was just an engineer, I think I would be way better on paper than an engineer who also does comedy, because the comedy is almost indicative
yeah.
of some
Yeah.
mental illness. Like, and the
Oh, yeah. So
they
the
always
families would
include
be
that on
like,
paper? For
sure.
the families would be like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy.
So they
That's what-
include that in the presentation.
I don't know,
comedy?
but
would try to
it would be
hide it.
hard to
Yeah.
hide. They'd find it. It'd be like a Carfax or
That's
something.
what my auntie was like, oh, I'll find you a nice like Cindy boy. We'll find, and I was like, auntie, all my family's on my Facebook. They're on my Instagram. Like, I don't hide that shit from them, and so they've seen everything that I post. And I'm just like, auntie, like, do you know me well enough to find someone that would fit me? And then the phone just went silent. She was like, she knows.
Yeah.
All my aunts are like, she's quirky. We don't know.
Right.
They don't know what category to put you in.
So you were sort of you were talking about the rumor mill, because how many
Yeah.
first cousins do you have?
I have like, I don't know.
Sure, but you have no
40
control
something.
over that, and that's
40
one of
something,
the,
yeah, 40
and
something.
In terms of breaking the stereotype, is like I give that I don't even think about
Yeah.
it, and if it's happening, it's happening, and
That's
I have no
a
idea.
healthier
Kind of-
way to live, for sure.
It is, because you have no
For
control
sure.
over it, and
Yeah.
like, who cares?
True.
It's like, you're a good person, so why the fuck does it matter? Like I've embraced it more, and like my cousins are watching my Instagram stories, and I'm like saying crazy shit on there, and they just like they like it. They like, part of them like some of it.
Whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have
Or
to
they'll
You can't
like,
have
or they're like
everybody
parts of
like
it,
you.
and it's, you just put whatever you can out there to like,
And
be
also
yourself.
understand part of that dislike, or like, oh, they're crazy, part of that comes from like their insecurity and fear that they
Yeah.
could never do that, so they must tear down
Yeah.
anybody who has the strength to maybe strive for something outside of the norm.
Yeah.
and succeed at it.
Anyone who has the
Sure.
balls to do something.
Yeah,
not the norm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the unfortunate thing, is that it's great that I'm at a point where I've had some wins, some great talking points, like, okay, a movie.
had a lot
sure,
of
sure,
wins.
whatever. But like, it's great.
Okay.
Oh, it all worked out. But I shouldn't have the love of my family and like extended family and like other Afghans just because I've gotten
Yeah,
here.
right.
Yeah.
It's so
Right.
conditional. This
Yeah.
love and support is so conditional.
I know, and that's tough.
unfortunate.
Because then it doesn't feel like you have any inherent value as a person. It's
well, it's like,
oh,
what if I didn't have these things?
Yeah, am I lovable?
Yeah. Am I crazy? Like, what if it just makes me happy?
Yeah.
And it's
That's
also
not enough?
coming from a
No.
lot of people who have
I know. It's not, I used to have this thing. I used to be like it's are you happy is never a question that's asked in like a
No.
brown household.
No, it's did you eat? Did you eat?
yeah.
And that's
How
it.
much money do you make?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. But it's never like, are you happy? That's not a question.
No, because there's no vocabulary for identifying feelings. There's we didn't have the luxury. Our parents didn't have the
Right.
luxury of looking at feelings. So, it's they didn't really give I felt like that
no time for feelings.
Yeah,
we have the luxury having lived here.
I mean, if you want to call it a luxury, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of sides of pain. So
part of it's cultural, though. It's just there's not a lot of value placed on feelings,
or even understanding. So if there's no understanding, then
it's just the family name is priority number one.
Were there like a lot of tempers in your guys' family?
Oh, what? Honey, yes.
There's the weirdest question you've ever received. That one right there. Yes, I have a temper.
I mean, I
don't know if it's learned or genetic, but
I used to until like I sort of started letting things go.
Serenity now.
Serenity, yeah. It's
Fibba does this thing where she says like the most wistful things in the most like matter of fact tone, but they're like so emotionally driven in the middle of conversation. I just burst out laughing every time. I think it's the funniest thing she does.
And I also like sigh wistfully about 10 times a day. You know.
It's like a release valve.
Yeah.
I just roll my eyes. That's what I do. And leave the room.
I think I always like never cared or I like pushed back against what my family felt and did because I could just like whenever they had something to say about relationships, I was like, you're not happy. Like you have no ground to stand on. There's no self-reflection. And as people, like I knew from a young age that their priorities were fucked. I was like, you guys only care about like appearance and money. And like, I do not care about those things.
It's interesting when you're young and it doesn't resonate and you're being told you're wrong. That's tough. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, well, that doesn't like you guys, that seems crazy.
Well,
but
then as a child, I was like, oh, you're not adults. Like in my head, I was like, I can't take you seriously for a lot of people.
I think sometimes they like the advice they're giving you is for a life that you don't want,
right?
Or a path that you're not on. And as you're doing your own thing, they just feel like you're further off this path that you were never on to begin with.
Yeah. And do you think it's an ego thing or a concern? An actual concern?
Thing. I think it is a concern, just a misunderstanding that there are different ways to live life. Yeah. And there's different paths, and people want different things.
That's that conversation that I keep having to have with my parents, the conversation of like, this is what I want every few months.
Yeah.
Because every time they're like, well, what about this and this? And I'm like, I'm not thinking about those things. Because
most people just want to graduate college, get a job, like the blueprint's there, get a house, have kids,
get married.
There's nothing wrong with that, It's a path that's worked for a lot of people, and that's what a lot of people want.
Yeah. Well, there's no blueprint for this.
Yeah, there's not.
No one's career looks the same here.
That's why I think like as you stray away from that, they're like, you're getting further away from this thing that you're supposed to be doing. When you're like, well, maybe I'm doing this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's courageous.
Maybe there's
But just to be clear for our listeners, none of us feel like we're wasting our time. So don't tell us that we are. That's just for my mom.
Your mom listens?
No, I think maybe. I have a feeling she does now.
But get it back to Mama Ali.
I think she does.
We are not wasting our time.
Yeah, does your mom really listen?
I think she is now because there's been so many rumors from my cousins who listen to this that I think now she's
listening.
I think she's figured out how to get to podcasts on her iPhone.
Yeah.
So sorry, Auntie.
Whatever. That's fine. Seema will be all right.
Oh, Seema.
Yeah, she'll be fine. It's fine. We should. We're at an hour.
Yeah, we
right?
should wrap.
Do we want to ask any of the
We don't want Fahim to walk home in the dark.
I mean, it was already dark when I walked here.
Yeah, but it's a little darker.
I tried to get on a scooter, but I couldn't figure it out, so I walked.
Yeah, if you dance,
you haven't done the birds yet?
I have, but this is like the new Uber one, and
what?
Uber has scooters now?
Uber, everyone has. There's like 8 companies.
I saw those,
there's way too many scooters.
Oh, they're gonna.
I want to do a bit and be like if how we're present day, if we like time travel, and they're like, what's the future like? Is there flying cars? Like, no, there's just like a ton of scooters everywhere.
Razors from your childhood.
But it's cool. But you could just like chuck them. You don't have to have a scooter. Like
one kid that got picked on, and now that's why there are all these bird scooters.
Yeah.
He's like, I love my razor.
Like the future's great. There's a bunch of electric scooters everywhere.
Tight. I had a razor.
These were the hoverboards that we never got. Is that it?
Hoverboards?
I guess.
They tried to play off those other hoverboards that are just like fucking balance
things.
Thing.
Mike Tyson ate shit on.
Oh, he did?
What?
There's a great viral video of him like in his mansion.
What happened to
Did he fall?
Segways? I want my Segway.
Oh,
I want to pick up a Segway.
Because the creator of Segway segued off a cliff.
Yeah.
Did
he really?
Yeah, no, that legit
and that's
happened.
how he died.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, no, this is the
feel like
first
you'll
time
get
I'm
over
hearing
it. It's so traumatic.
No, this is.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Wow, and I said it like as if it's just. I'm so sorry. It's
I'm an emotional person.
Okay,
it's
apologize.
a life event.
All right, Fizza's got to go cry in a corner.
I get it out now. Don't keep the poison in. Just get it out.
You had a moment.
Oh God, Fahim, where can our people find you?
Find me. I'm on Instagram at Fahim Anwar, Fahim Anwar. That's Twitter too. FahimAnwar.com, I guess.
You did so well
On what?
today.
Oh,
You did
thanks.
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
good job, buddy.
You know, it's my new thing. I'm trying to crush podcasts. I say, don't send me out for auditions or anything. I'm really focusing on my podcast guesting appearances.
You could also listen to him on Mark Maron's podcast. You've been on like
true,
everybody's
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that
Mark-
was a nice bucket list thing.
Yeah. That's Fahim.
I'm just trying to monetize this somehow, to like being a guest on podcasts. Because I'm crushing it, but I just like there's no income coming from
Paid
it.
you in 2 tiny water bottles.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
maybe.
And-
Sorry for
don't
drinking
have
so
an
much
attitude.
water.
And our
One was-
fans are going to come to your show and watch Goatface, and hopefully it'll be a regular thing.
Yeah, those are two things. So I have a 1-hour special that's out called "There's No Business Like Show Business." If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there for free. And then I think it's also on the Comedy Central website. So if you just search my name at like cc.com, you can stream it for free. And then Goatface, it used to be free, but now it's behind the paywall. So if you have Comedy Central, I think it's on demand for free, or it's like $3 to rent on Amazon or
It's worth it,
iTunes.
dude. Guys, just pay your $3.
Yeah,
It's,
come
So
on.
good.
it's absolutely worth it.
I just love how you guys didn't compromise anything for white people.
loved
You're
it.
like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to over-explain anything. This is just what it is. And I was
Please
like,
hold
this
the
is best.
NRA awards every year.
Oh,
So good.
That was
yeah,
legit.
Thank you.
I think
Fucking
there's
school
going to be
shooter.
a series. I think there's at least
We'll
going to be
find
a
out. I
part
hope
two.
so. You know, that's the dream. I love stand-up and I love sketch. And Goatface was so much fun. I want to do more of it.
It was great.
Where'd the name
Awesome.
come from?
What? Goatface?
Goatface, yeah.
The greatest
Just
of
random.
all times. Faces?
No, I think
No?
we were just like brainstorming one day and then just like throwing a bunch of random shit. And then like one time I think somebody said Goatface Killers. And then we, and then we lopped off the Killers because it was too long. And we, it just stuck.
Cool. We are Facial Recognition Comedy. You can find us at facialrecognitioncomedy.com, Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. We are at Westside Comedy Theater the second Sunday of every month at 9 p.m. Today, right? This is really fun.
night.
Today we will be at the Irvine Improv at 8 p.m. Yeah. I'm Paula Viganalan. That's PallaVigunAlan everywhere.
And I'm Zara Ali. You can find me on all Instagram, socials, whatever's at Really Zara. Zara is Zahra.
And I'm Fizza Dasani, Fizaadosani at Fizza Dasani everywhere. Thank you and good night.
Buy our merch.
Bye.